Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. There's some people out here, man, great fighters who could be on the verge of losing. Hard to really imagine them losing since they've been so dominant. Gervonta Davis, Claressa Shields, Terence Crawford, Keyshawn Davis. Now, I know some of you are going to look and say, hey, you're talking about perfect fighters. These four are perfect fighters. What makes you think that they're going to lose? I didn't say they're going to lose. I'm just saying this could be the time for them to lose a fight. Now, you got to understand, just take a look at everything that's going on. This is the era of distraction. And when there's so many distractions, great fighters can get caught slipping. You see, before talking fighters, you need a really big theme. Okay, the era of boxing has, right now, I don't care what anyone says, this era of boxing, yeah, it has more money, more distractions for sure. The social media is something else. There's definitely more, there's always pressure on fighters, but there may be even more. And the online noise is just ridiculous. And there's, let me tell you something, never been any more noise when it comes to fighters than what you're seeing in this generation. I gotta wonder, when fighters are fighting one time a year, or sometimes taking longer than that to get back in the ring, do fighters even train anymore? You know what I'm saying? What are they doing in between fights? They're managing Instagram? Are they out here, in Twitter beefs? Are they doing podcasts? They're trying to be rappers. They're in those celebrity circles. They're dealing with lawsuits. They got mental health struggles, weight issues, gambling rumors, brand pressure, getting old. Look, every fighter that I'm going to talk about here is elite. Is dangerous, but they're human, okay? Right now, just for me sitting back observing, I'd have to say that all four in situations with one bad camp, one sloppy moment, or one wrong mind state could flip everything upside down. Every single thing upside down. So let's just talk about the one guy who I think is kind of getting done a little bit wrong here. I'm not gonna lie, Gervonta Davis. Look, I'm always rooting for the guy, but I'm not going to sit there and turn a blind eye to something that has been proven to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you can give me something definitive, I'm with you. But with Gervonta Davis, I just got to wonder, man, with the stuff surrounding him, I tend to believe there's more to it. I know some people already came out here and said, Gervonta Davis, you have your opinion about him. But for me, I just think there's more to his story and some of his drama. But at the end of the day, Tank is one of the most explosive finishers in the sport. One of the most explosive boxers. And I know the negative people are going to be like, oh, well, he struggled with Lamont Roach. Okay, man, we know what happened in that fight, right? But the bottom line is that's just one fight. We know what Tank has been. Tank has been a monster. But even monsters get rusty. And that's what seemed to have shown up in that Lamont Roach fight. Now, the inactivity. Tank went from being one of the youngest killers in the game, fighting quite often early in his career to only fighting once a year. He doesn't take tune-ups, no activity rhythm, doesn't really have any momentum going on until he's about to get into a fight. And when you're a counterpuncher relying on timing and explosiveness, inactivity can make your reflexes stale. And then all of a sudden cracks start forming, and then you look like how he did against Lamont Roach. And maybe at this point, even though Tank has never really shown that much of an interest to face elite 135-pound fighters, but maybe right now that's why Tank doesn't seem to show any interest in that. He wasn't worried about Shakir, didn't want Devin at 134. Devin's at 135. He got into with Frank Martin and put the bing beans on him. He didn't fight Keyshawn. Lomachenko bout, he never did that. So some people are saying, what, Tank's scared. He putting duck sauce on the fried rice. I'm going to tell you, Tank's not scared. Tank ain't scared. But when it comes to business decisions and personal issues, means he's not sharpening iron with iron. You know what I'm saying? Tank has openly said he needs help and feels overwhelmed. He's also said when it comes to fights, he's all about his money before anything. And he's proven that. But the thing that got my attention is he said that he feels he needs help, feels that he's overwhelmed, and he wants to be softer. He has daughters, but he doesn't want to go get the help yet because he wants to have that edge when he gets into the boxing ring. And I'm going to tell you, when I listen to all that, I'm like, man, his mind, it just doesn't sound like Tank's mind isn't locked in to his intuition, which is the number one weapon. And all of a sudden that shit gets clouded. And that's what it sounds like has happened with Tank. Now, this thing, again, what I kind of touched on it, but again, I'm going to tell you, this domestic violence, chaos, and legal problems, every time Tank really trends, it doesn't seem to really be about boxing. And that's the type of pressure that can drain your discipline. It's exhausting. You even start recognizing what fans are saying, and that gets to you. I have a little YouTube channel. I'm a retired cat. I'm chilling. Trust me, life is all right. I can only imagine when I look and see some of the negative comments. I'll be honest, that shit, some of that shit can be annoying. You can't do nothing about it. You either just ignore them and realize, people don't know you, don't know them. They probably still at mom and dad's house in the basement writing their name on the orange juice or work at the airport sniffing luggage. So you don't really worry about it. But with Gervonta Davis, you got to take a look at what he has going on a much grander scale, to where he ends up missing out on a $40 million opportunity to fight Jake Paul. Even if you think that fight was a joke, $40 million is $40 million. That's ridiculous. Missing out on that only happens when a fighter's camp, business structure, and mindset are in survival mode, not attack mode, and they haven't matured or grown to a point to where they can avoid those pitfalls, because they are precludable. But it happened to him. So now you see Gervonta Davis, a lot of fans are like, hell, he has so many distractions going on personally, professionally. How would the fight go between him and Devin Haney right now? Some people feel Devin would beat him. Him and Shakir. Some people have always felt Shakir would beat him, but right now they say, shit, Shakir would beat him. They feel right now Tank can get beat. And my thing is, if Tank showed up locked in, I think he stopped Schofield. Wins a tough fight against Devin. And with Shakir, I can't help but say that's a 50-50 fight. If Tank is locked in, nobody's just going to come in there and run through Gervonta Davis. Simple. But Tank right now, he doesn't seem to be focused to me. He got too much going on. Haney's discipline could outpoint Tank, could frustrate him. Shakir's defensive mastery could neutralize him. And Schofield's hunger can make it closer than Tank fans want to admit. So Tank is still elite. I am telling you he's elite. This is just a conversation. I'm not speaking facts. We're just talking, right? So enjoy the conversation. I'll leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. So although Tank is still elite, but the gap is closing because he's letting it close. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. So I don't know what happens to Tank when he returns to the ring. But I'd have to say, you mess around with a guy like Schofield, Shakir Stevenson, or even Devin Haney if Tank decides to bubble up and wait. Before, I say Tank comes in here and just handles business with all of them. Now, I'm not saying that. Now, when it comes to somebody else who's also, he's bubbled up from 135 to 140 now, Keyshawn Davis. Talk about a boxing prodigy that hit a wall. Face first and landed. Chest to canvas, ass in the air like he's at a Diddy party. All because he wanted to come out here, man, and get mad because his big brother got the bing bings put on him. Oh, little brother, man, that big brother got beat up. It's boxing, it happens. Even the big brother was like, goddamn fight. I wanted to win, I lost it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you this. Be up to that incident and missing the weight and all that shit. Keyshawn Davis had everything going for him. Everything. Man was about to make $1 million. ESPN was pushing him. He had a big ass mouth. He had big talent. Perfect Olympic pedigree. Top rank was behind him. Money coming fast. Then he hit the worst combination in boxing. Distraction, ego, missed weight, public backlash. All that shit hit him at once. The same weekend. And let me tell you something. That missed weight versus Edwin De Los Santos, he didn't just miss the weight. He cost himself $1 million. That was $1 million payday he was supposed to get. And he just threw it out the window, man. And for a prospect, that's life-changing money. I know he's the businessman and he has these great things going on, but I don't give a shit. $1 million is $1 million, man. And it proved fans' biggest complaint. He talks championship level, but trains and acts like a contender. Now, you see, the scuffle with Albright after his brother lost. Fighters lose control when they aren't mentally balanced, man. Keyshawn looked emotional, not calculated, man. Fans don't like fake tough guy energy, and they turned on him. Even I did a video. I called him stupid. Because that's what it was. It was stupid. It was a coward act. Your brother lost. I understand being upset. I have 3 brothers. You know what I'm saying? If it's a boxing match, I just had to. I'd be tough. That guy walking by me, man, someone beat my brother in a boxing match, he walking by me. It'd be tough for me not to sit there, man, and chump him, you know. I ain't gonna lie. That's just how I'm wired. So I understood him, but you can't do that. It's a boxing match. It's a boxing match. It's not like it's a street fight and someone snuck up on him from behind. Nah, it's a boxing match. You got paid to get in there and try to win, and he lost. It is what it is. But let me tell you something. Fans don't like that fake tough guy energy. They don't like it. Bottom line, he's about to return to the ring. And I just think the comeback's dangerous, man. Keyshawn has always, he's done nothing but get better and better every fight. But right now, I don't know where he's at. You know what I'm saying? His comeback to me is dangerous. If Keyshawn's not locked in, if he hasn't learned discipline, if he still thinks charisma is training, nah, he could easily take his first loss, especially if he's in against somebody very tough. Now, who's Top Rank going to put him in with? I don't know. Top Rank is trying to protect the Williams and Peters, the Muratayas, and they're trying to protect everybody. So I can't see them coming out here with Keyshawn and throwing him in with a Zapata, throwing him in with Murataya, Nakataya. Pitbull Cruz already has something going on. But the bottom line, they ain't going to throw him in there with somebody who's that difficult of a matchup. What I would like to see is him face Edwin De Los Santos. That's what I would like to see. The first fight didn't happen, make it happen. I just think De Los Santos. There's a lot of guys at 130, at 140 now. If they fighting at 140 or chose to move up to 140, that could ruin them. Keyshawn's an elite talent. I'm gonna keep saying that he's an elite talent. But elite talent without elite habits is a tragedy waiting to happen. And that's why when it comes to Keyshawn, I'm like, man, we just gotta wait and see, what he does. Then there's Clarissa Shields. The GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. Pat, pat, boom, pat, pat. Brr. The champion or the distraction machine. Clarissa Shields got all kind of stuff going on, man. She had good stuff going on, bad stuff going on, beyond bad stuff going on, toxic stuff going on, awful stuff going on. Fans love her, fans hate her. Shit, she got everything. Clarissa Shields right now is the ultimate distraction machine. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, she is still, one of the greatest female fighters, to ever put on a pair of gloves, from the amateurs to the pro. You cannot take that away from her, but greatness still needs focus. She still needs to focus people. Right now, she everywhere except that gym. Weight and conditioning questions. We looking at her. We see her. Nobody trying to fat shame her. We make jokes about everybody, men and women. Women ain't off limits. Y'all can't be out here, women, talking about equal pay, equal rights, equal. Yeah, but when we start cracking them jokes, you better be like equal humor, because they're going to, Your ass ain't off limits. But right now, she just seemed to be all over, man. There's all kind of people talking about this shit. It ain't just me. What's up with the weight? What's up with the conditioning? We got questions. You could understand why. When you look at pictures of Clarissa Shields, man, she looked a little bit, a little bit healthy. And it could just be that she's ballooning up. She's in between fights. She's fighting at a heavyweight now. She's not too worried about her weight. And doesn't mean she's not in shape. But she's definitely not looking the way I think majority of the boxing fans would expect for her to look as a boxing champion, irregardless of her being a heavyweight. But she's a celebrity. Clarissa Shields out here thinking she Beyonce now. I here thinking she Serena Williams. She thinking she Halle Berry. She really thinking that she's that girl now. And you know what? She should feel good about herself. I mean, she in rap videos. Count the green. She in music studios. Something. Neiman Marcus. If I wanted, I'ma get it. I'ma bite you in the ankle. I'ma poke you in the eyeball. Happy day, turkey day, turkey. She on podcasts and shit. She doing interviews, getting in reality TV circles, social media beefs, bikini photo shoots, IG live drama, Twitter arguments. That girl is everywhere. World tour like Muhammad, my man. She tribe called Questing it out here. But I'm going to tell you, when a fighter's trying to be a celebrity or trying to be a beauty, they lose the beast. And she need to have that beast inside her. The belt, the boxing world, all that shit becomes secondary because you like the attention. You like feeling like you an A-lister. You like putting them dogs on the red carpet. I don't know, did she moonwalk across that motherfucker? Like, she out here doing a thing, man. She's enjoying this lifestyle. Talking about the money. Got $3 million. I got a pool outside. Got an indoor pool. We got something Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis. She out here blowing up. She got 4 houses, 5 houses, 6 cars. She got this and that. She take care of everybody. She this and that. $3 million hit the account. Could be $16 million in 1 year. Layla Ali, where are you? We got a venue for that. Million. She deserves it. Let me tell you, man, that boxing shit is secondary right now. Being a rapper and a video vixen, these accusations, look, she is trying to be a rapper. Video vixen, I mean, she has no problem dressing and revealing her body. She loves her body. She loves her appearance. And every time she get a camera in front of her, she tries to draw attention to her lobster tail. You know what I'm saying? That's her. I ain't making that up. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to boxing fans, they're watching it. But I will say this. It doesn't get talked about as much. But I see what she's doing with the self-defense classes and going out there trying to help the young girls and help women. I see that. That's good. We saw her out there on Turkey Day, giving away turkey. She was out there, we saw hat, leather jacket, catsuit, some hush puppy sandals or whatever those were. We saw it. Nothing wrong with that. She was chilling. You handing out turkeys. You want to be comfortable. She was comfortable. Somebody said she had on, I'm going to get you sucker shoes and shit with the fish in the bottom and shit. But I'm not going to sit here, man, and do that. But I'm just telling you, people out here are raw. But a lot of fans just feel, especially the women. Let me tell you, the women really pay attention to Clarissa Shields. The women were really supporting Clarissa. When I tell you that, they were. I think some still do, but a vast majority, not so much anymore. They were really supporting her every night. Well, about 4 or 5 days out the week when I go live, the ladies talk about it. And we got a pretty consistent group, but there's some others who pop up in there and they have an opinion. And I'm telling you, the majority of the opinions are not very favorable because it all goes back to the Layla Ali stuff and Muhammad Ali and the disrespect and the attitude. But there's a lot. But the one thing when it comes to boxing, They just feel she's drifting away from the disciplined athlete brand that, she had cemented. Everyone understood to accomplish what she's accomplished, you gotta have some kind of discipline. It don't matter what kind of attitude you think she has. Everybody understood. There gotta be something special about you to do what Clarissa Shields has done. But now they're like, shit, that was her bread and butter. She getting away from it because the discipline is out the window. And who knows what's gonna happen in her next fight. But one thing's for sure, there were a lot of complaints about her being a social media bully. Now, I'll say this, there are people who go out there and harass her. There are people who have nothing better to do than just go seek her out and attack her. Now, I'm not talking about doing a video and talking about different things. I mean, well, go and message her and say horrible things, or she'll put a video or post out and go in the comments. And some of the most ridiculous, extreme insults you could think of, they say that to her. And I'm telling you, that shit, Papoose can say, oh, that shit, it doesn't bother her. That's bullshit. That's a lie. That shit bothers them. Nobody wants to wake up every day and be told that they're not great, that they're not attractive, that they're not pleasant. You know what I mean? And all the other horrible things people say. Nobody wants to wake up to that. I don't care what you say. It takes a toll on you. But the fact is, when you do go out and look, she doesn't have a problem roasting people. She doesn't have a problem, getting on fighters, getting on fans, getting on critics. So that's energy she should be saving for sparring in the boxing ring, but she just, throws it out there on the fans and on the boxing world. So I just think this right here probably the best time for someone to beat her. I really do, man. I think if a dangerous puncher like maybe a Franchon, Savannah Marshall, the rematch, maybe Franchon, the rematch, or a Hannah Gabriels or a Shadesha Green at 160, 168, some of those lioness, man, they face her right now. I think right now is the most vulnerable Clarissa Shields has ever been, and this is where she could take a loss. It's not that, oh, she's been doing boxing so long or she's up there in age. Nah, she's not falling off physically. She's falling off energetically. You understand what I'm saying? Mentally, I think she kind of is not in the best space. Spiritually, I think she okay there, but just not where she was. I just think she needs to go back to who she was before the belts, like the young lady who came out the Olympics. She needs to come back to that young lady who was turning pro. The young lady who was up in the stands with them 3 whiskers on top of her head and them braids. That one, the real Clarissa Shields that people could look at, see, and respect her for being who she was and was doing the business. That's the Clarissa Shields she need to get back to. At least that drive that she had in her. She need to get back to that. Hungry. And it sounded to her like she was literally hungry. You know what I'm saying? Life is better now, you know what I'm saying? But she got to get back to what made her who she was before the belts. Now, that's how I feel about Clarissa Shields. There's a lot more I can say, but this ain't what that video is about. But it is about saying she getting there with someone who can really crack and who's active. But Clarissa being so distracted, in my opinion, she's distracted. Clarissa Shields gonna lose, man. Some of y'all don't want to hear that. Some of y'all are like, nah, man, let's not take it to the stupid. I'm just telling you, man. She is going to lose. She's going to lose. Now, talking about somebody who's an outstanding boxer like Clarissa Shields, but, who could lose their next fight too, and I'm just being honest with you, is Terence Crawford. I'm going to tell you, Terence Crawford is perfect. No, I would not bet against him. I'm telling you, I wouldn't bet against him. But I'm sitting here watching him, because the king isn't young anymore. Father Time is undefeated. Terence Crawford probably the biggest fighter in the world, period, right now when it comes to boxing. Everyone like, yo, that guy, something special about him. He's not just winning. Everyone he gets in, he dominates them. And it's the way he does. Like, he got fast hands, but he must have some freakish power. The IQ is there, the skill set's there, the defense is there. He is a complete fighter. Terence Crawford is a complete fighter. But even King's face time, you know what I'm saying? He's 38? Gonna be 39. Reflexes, they start to decline. Speed declines. Switch hitting sharpness declines. Explosiveness, that starts to decline. It's natural. It's not that Crawford isn't out here trying to maintain it. It's just the natural order of progression, man. When you start to get your ass start to get old, it happens. And he's only fighting once a year. When you're young, once a year keeps you fresh. When you're older, once a year makes you stiff, like a mannequin. Got a little rigor mortis setting in your ass. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel ring rust plus aging, if that happened to Terence Crawford, that could equal danger because you come out here talking about returning against Janibek Alam Kanuli at 160 pounds. Shit, I'm telling y'all right now, those of y'all who don't follow boxing like that, Janibek Alam Kanuli is not Canelo. He's not anyone Terence Crawford has faced. Janibek Alam Kanuli is a monster. Matter of fact, I was talking about David Benavidez and doing videos on David Benavidez. Let me just say this. David Benavidez is a problem. He's a villain. He will try to take your life in the ring. And I was like, there's no one more ridiculous than David Benavidez, more violent. You know what? I had to catch myself this morning when I was putting together this outline. I'm like, oh, hell no. Janibek Alam Kanuli's another one who's still boxing right now and who is just vicious. So when it comes to Janibek, he ain't Canelo. He's not slow. He's not flat-footed. He's slick, sharp, explosive, precise, hungry, middleweight southpaw, and he throws combinations. He is a problem. And there are a lot of people who believe Crawford will lose this one, not the Canelo rematch that sound like it could be happening. They talking about the Alam Kanuli. Like, that's the fight. That's Alam Kanuli has everything to win, nothing to lose. Crawford has everything to lose, nothing to win. Even though he'll be going for a fourth undisputed distinction. That's a tough fight, man. But at the end of the day, Crawford possibly losing this, I wouldn't bet against him. I don't bet anyway. But I for sure wouldn't bet against him. But at the same time, you gotta look at the age, you gotta look at weight jump, then descending down. You gotta look at the inactivity, you gotta look at the styles. All of that equals big time risk for Terence Crawford. Then you got the Canelo rematch. Look, is he gonna get it? I don't know. But I think even a rematch with Canelo, Terence Crawford would have to have that fire in him, have that focus, motivation. And Crawford admits, he's kind of losing the hunger. You got to work even harder. You got to take more time to recover. But I do think Crawford beats Canelo in a rematch. I think he may even knock him out, but it's one of those things where how much better can Crawford do? He could knock out Canelo, but how much better can Canelo do? A whole lot better. So it's an interesting fight. I still think Crawford beats Canelo, but with Janibek Alam Kanuli, I don't know. But the bottom line is, I got to ask myself. Get that later. It's my uncle calling from Trinidad, man. I got to ask myself when it comes to Terence Crawford, is he vulnerable right now? And I'm gonna tell you, he is vulnerable, but not because he declined. He's vulnerable not because he's human. But because he's vulnerable because the level of activity isn't where most fans would want it. But at the same time, he's getting up there in age. You work too hard, and all of a sudden, you're more susceptible to injury. But then he's getting up there in age. He needs that time off. But the less active you are, the more there's a chance where, that dead leg and stuff can show up in the ring. So one bad night versus Janibek could change everything for Terence Crawford. So I don't know. I guess the question is like, should Crawford just retire? Should Crawford just leave everything alone? But if he's going to go after another fight, I think he should go for Canelo. Go get your $100 million. Go ahead and fight him. And then just go ahead and walk away from the sport. Crawford been making big time money for a long time. He just out here getting a cherry on top. Matter of fact, 2, 3 cherries on top. He's not just a single cherry. What he's getting here to punctuate his career is big time and big money. But at the end of the day, Gervonta Davis, Keyshawn Davis, Clarissa Shields, Terence Crawford, amazing fighters, man. Amazing, amazing athletes. I just got to be honest, man. When I kind of try to summarize all this, Gervonta Davis, distractions, inactivity. That shit equals upset alert. He got too many distractions. He upset with everybody, beefing with Mayweather, whatever going on in his personal life with the ladies. His trainer, they were beefing. You know, there's just something going on with Gervonta, man. And the inactivity, he's, I know he was hoping to fight Jake Paul to just kind of stay busy and go after Lamont Roach after, but now he's kind of in the breeze. Lamont Roach is fighting Pitbull Cruz. What's Gervonta going to do? But when he gets back in the ring, I just think you see an upset alert because he can't come out here and fight a tomato can. You know what I'm saying? And Keyshawn Davis, I think he's going to be subject to the discipline test. We're going to see how disciplined he is. We're going to see how he acts. We're going to see how he conducts himself. Because I tell you what, his first loss is very possible. Coming off all that drama, losing out in the payday, going up to 140. I know he called out the guy Albright to rematch him since he beat him. But it was a tough fight for Keyshawn, but his brother lost to him. I just think Keyshawn Davis, if he ain't locked in, man, and he don't have the discipline he needs, he's going to get his first loss. With Clarissa Shields, I could say a whole lot, but I'm going to just leave that alone, man. She's just in celebrity mode. Clarissa Shields is just out here trying to count the green. That's what she's trying to do. Count the green, be in front of the camera, makeup, wig, clothes, everything. She's trying to change her image, man. But when you're so caught up in that celebrity lifestyle, it's the perfect time for someone to beat you because you ain't locked in. Let me tell y'all something. I have a Tesla and I have 2 Honda Pilots. And I went out there. I looked at red. I always wanted to get a red, black, and white X5. I was going to go buy 3. And I said, all right, let me go buy these, right? Just swap out all the cars. That's what I was going to get. I've always liked them. Always liked them. There was a time I was going to buy one. My homegirl bought one. She's like, hey, come and get one. I went up to the dealership to get one. I looked. I was like, nah, I'm going to get this Honda Pilot. I was investing big time back then. I said, nah, I'm cool. My cousin worked at a Honda dealership, so I got the hookup. But then we were talking about the BMW. He was like, nah, the maintenance on that shit's stupid. It doesn't make sense. And I was like, all right. Even though it was a tax write-off, he was still like, nah, man, all that shit can be written off, but it's a headache for you. I said, all right. Once I retired, I was like, yo, let me go out here and get this shit. And I sat inside one, and there ain't no space up in that one. X5, so I got an X7. And I sat in there, and it's cool, but it ain't that spacious. It looked nice, but I'm like, I can't mess with this. So I sat in a GMC Yukon, I got in a Suburban, got in a Tahoe, got in an Expedition, got in the Navigator, got in an Escalade, I got in a G-Wagon. And I said, you know what? All of these are nice cars. The G-Wagon is cool, but space ain't really there. But I like the G-Wagon, right? But I said, man, I think I was watching the next day, Warren Buffett. He was talking about stock market and stuff. And in this video, it's an old documentary on Warren Buffett. It showed the house he lived in. Motherfucker drives a Subaru. And I looked at that, because I've always been a humble guy like that, you know what I'm saying? And I said, yo, my man is really out here, a goddamn gazillionaire, and he ain't worried about all that. And I had to check myself. And I said, you know what, I got to be cool. Forget being out here trying to look like a celebrity and, nah. I'm going to know what I know. I'm going to know what I got. I'm not going to show what I know, and I'm not going to show what I got. I'm going to sit here and just chill. Unless something really comes on that I really like, but I haven't seen it. There's nothing that I really, really like. You know what I'm saying? It's nice shit out there, but nothing where I'm like, I want that. But when you're in celebrity mode, you can come out here and waste a lot of money. And it's your choice. That just ain't how I choose to move. You know what I'm saying? But for Clarissa Shields, coming back on that, talking about the wrist and the 90,000 and the this and the that, no problem. Do what you want. But she seems to be so concerned about all of those things instead of being a fighter. And that's why I think is the perfect time to be her. A matter of fact, she should really sit there and pay attention to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett ain't trying to be no celebrity. Warren Buffett out here, he is what he is. He's a gazillionaire. He lives simple. And he just sit there, man, and just his dough just keep rolling over and over and over. Them the kind of people you need to pay attention to, listen to, and learn from. Because he ain't all about being in celebrity mode. But I think Clarissa Shields, if she were to face a Shadesha Green, rematch with Savannah Marshall, fighting Franchon Cruz, in her next fight, which she's not going to, I think she could lose. I'm just being honest with you, because I know for a fact, out of all of them, Shadesha Green is in the gym. Hannah Gabriels is still working, but right now, as far as who's been active, Shadesha Green. That's the fight I want to see. Clarissa ain't going to do it. So it's a perfect time for her to get beat. Then with Terence Crawford, I'll never go against Terence Crawford. But I'll tell you, age, inactivity, he may be vulnerable to a slick, sharp 160-pound fighter like Janibek Adam Kamuli. You just never know, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's all a conversation. So anybody's like, oh, nobody would ever lose, this person wouldn't lose. Okay, you think so. Don't tell me I'm wrong. It's a conversation. Add to it. Don't come flying here like a seagull, drop shit off, squawk about in the comment section and fly back out. Add to it. Because I'm telling you, all four will probably still dominate. I'm telling you. But the window for an upset has never been wider. And that's a fact, Jack. Y'all keep cool, man. Happy Turkey Day to you. I may drop 2 more videos and go back in here with my son. We out here bowling this shit inside the crib. So I'm going to go ahead. And no, I don't have a bowling alley. We playing bowling on the Wii U, and we're outside shooting. I bought him a crossbow. 8 years old shooting a crossbow. Boy, let me tell you, that shit is powerful. So he got his target in the back out. He's shooting his crossbow. I got a little Crocodile Dundee over here. That dude is a trip. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents again. Yo, happy Thanksgiving, man. All right? In the breeze.